So I asked for questions on my Instagram account, which is @achillvegan. If you want to follow it, go ahead. I post almost daily what I eat in a day Instagram stories if you want to check those out, if that seems like something that you would like. Anyways, moving on. I received a lot more than I thought I would, and some of the questions or comments I made a separate video about. I'm also going to put the time marks for all the questions or topics in the description box. Once a question comes up that I made a separate video about, I'm going to link it, like probably right here. If there's not a link there yet, that's because I haven't finished it yet, because this is gonna take quite a while and I have a lot to say. So first, I got a few comments from Lauren Keel. She talked a lot about obstacles that make it more difficult for you to adopt a vegan lifestyle. Devin Bean asked favorite vegan restaurant. If I had to pick a favorite, it'd be Native Foods Cafe, because that was the first full vegan restaurant that I went to, and I just really like the, I guess, like aesthetic and like the kind of food that they serve. You know, I could go there with my parents or people who are not vegan or not into health foods or whatever, and they'll still enjoy the food with me. Question from Just Vegan Melly. If you had to choose one fruit to eat for the rest of your life and no others, what fruit would you pick? And I picked mangoes because they're my favorite fruit. She also asked dream career. Megan asked, what is your dream job? It would be my dream to be able to do multiple things simultaneously and not like lose my mind. I know I really want to own a restaurant slash cafe slash food truck, but then I also want to do like YouTube, and then I also want to be like a speaker for like living like a compassionate lifestyle, not only veganism but also conscious consumerism, own a farm sanctuary. Absolute favorite vegan dessert, I'm gonna say Ben & Jerry's PB and cookies vegan ice cream. It's so good because cookies and cream was always my favorite growing up, and so they just added peanut butter to it and I was like Violet Vibes asked, what would you be doing if you weren't making videos? Like this summer, if I wasn't spending all the time making videos, I would probably be doing something else related. Like I would be probably starting a blog or writing an ebook or something, vegan tips or recipes or something, because I really enjoy it. I think it's fun and cool. Fruity Fabby asked, how do you feel about body positivity, and do you have any advice to give girls that are struggling with accepting themselves? I'm a huge advocate of like body positivity, but like most people, you know, it's a lot harder for me to like look at my own self and my own body through like a body positive lens than it is for me to look at like other people's bodies. But I am getting a lot better. The advice that I give, I would just say, and this is gonna sound like probably really insensitive, but I think one of the biggest things is just to realize that like it's mostly all in your head. We are so like hypercritical of our own selves and our own bodies that we just like tear ourselves down, and it's so hard to get over that. But like no one sees you the way that you see you. I'll talk about it more if I make like a body acceptance video or like body positive video, but I think it helps a lot to like when you see someone with the things that you're insecure about on their own body, just think about like how you see it on them, and like that's probably how people see it on you. You know, like if you're like, I used to be insecure of like my freckles because I thought they looked really ugly and I thought they made my skin look like less pure or like clear. But then like I never think someone who has someone else who has freckles, I never think their skin looks bad. So why do I think it looks bad on myself? And I barely even have any freckles, so I was being ridiculous. What's your opinion on eating vegan junk food and fatty foods? I don't see a problem with it, especially if it's once in a while. I think it's just fun to try different like, you know, comfort foods, especially like vegan versions of classic junk foods. I'll eat junk foods and stuff when I'm like out with family or out with friends, but on my day-to-day basis, like I try not to eat junk food. Or I try to eat like little of it, because not only is it bad for your health, but also a lot of junk foods, you know, they're mostly very processed and made out of a lot of ingredients that are also bad for the environment. Do you study at university? Yes, I do. I go to the local community college. It's my second year now, starting in like 2 days. I'm going to transfer after that to a 4-year university. And what are your favorite hobbies or shows? Well, my favorite hobbies, I have to say now, as of the last few months or whatever, making YouTube videos. I really like doing it. I think it's really fun. I like to cook and I like to bake. I just like food. I like trying new foods. I like sharing foods with people. I like making food. I like receiving food. And my favorite shows, I don't watch TV that often or that regularly because I spend more of my time watching YouTube videos. Some of my favorites that I used to watch them all the time: The Office, Parks and Rec, and Community. I feel like no one knows about Community because no one ever talks about it, but it was like my favorite show for a long time. It was so good. It's so creative and like every episode is so unique. Lately I've just been watching cartoons. I watch Bob's Burgers with Adventure Time and Steven Universe. Also, one of the greatest shows of all time, in my opinion, Avatar: The Last Airbender and Korra. If you haven't seen them, you definitely need to check them out. They're so Gabrielle Gianon? I'm sorry, I'm not good at this. Gabrielle, is it Gabrielle? Gabrielle asked, what is your fave thing about veganism? That's a hard question. Apart from like helping animals, obviously, but that's a boring answer. One of my favorite things about being vegan is that it kind of inspired me to be more grateful just of food in general. And I mean, not everyone's like this, but this is kind of how I was and how I know a lot of people are like this. When you're not vegan, you kind of take food for granted. But when you're vegan, it's like in a lot of places where it's like harder to be vegan or where there's not a lot of vegan products. It's kind of like exciting when you do find something that's vegan, especially like specialty kind of vegan products. And so, I don't know, it kind of makes you like appreciate it more than you would if you weren't vegan because it's like you're used to having those options. Do you sometimes have trouble deciding when to fight for veganism in everyday life and when to let things go? I mean, first of all, I do. If someone flat out says something that's wrong about veganism or they have a negative image of veganism, I think it's important to correct them if they're wrong, you know, try and influence a more positive image of veganism on them. But I think vegans spend too much time like trying to correct people who are trashing veganism and trying to like win arguments with anti-vegans when really most of them are going to be extremely hard to win over, maybe impossible. And then there's so many other people who like are interested or who are curious and who are open-minded who just need to be helped. Like they just need some advice, a little bit more information on it for them to take the first step. So yeah, but definitely make sure you're never like tainting any friendships because of arguments over veganism, because that just sucks. If that happens, then you're losing a friend and they're not going vegan anytime soon. Gabrielle also asked, is peaceful protest and educating better than aggressive education? And I'm gonna make a separate video about that, and that will be here once it is finished, because that's a topic. Amber Thomas asked, she said, so this is very personal and feel free not to answer, but do you have or have you ever had a history of eating disorder symptoms, and if so, has veganism helped you curb those bad habits and or improve your self-image and worth? It's not super personal or like hard for me to talk about because I've never had too extreme of eating disorder problems, but I mean, it's not surprising that like most other young girls, I have definitely like had bad habits and unhealthy habits of eating. I would say that veganism helped somewhat, but it didn't completely like get rid of the bad habits. But like I ate a lot of like cheese and like beef, and my family ate a lot of like sausages and things. Once I went vegan, like felt better about what I was eating because I knew like it was healthier, and also the fact that like having like a positive ethical message behind your diet like made me feel more positive about it just in general. I think it's easier to be like nervous about eating meat and cheese and stuff than it is to be nervous about eating fruits and vegetables and grains and things like that. because they're so much lower in like fat and calories or whatever. And it helps to know that like most of the vegan community are very like anti-restriction, and they're very much about like eating all your meals and more. Like just eating is not a bad thing, and that kind of helped me not restrict myself, I guess. Grace asked favorite carb, and I think I'm gonna say rice. It's very versatile and it's super cheap, and you can find it anywhere, and I can eat it every day and never get sick of it. Raina Bolt also asked, do you buy ethical clothes, or are you interested in changing to ethically made clothes? And I'm definitely making a video about that and gonna talk about that in a separate video, so that will be here as well. I'm hoping this is Imada. As top 5 vegan foods you couldn't live without / would eat for the rest of your life. I would say rice, beans, mangoes, avocado, and banana. If we're talking meals, like prepared things, I'm gonna say oatmeal, definitely. Burrito bowls, pasta, any kind, vegan pizza, and PB&Js. That would be my 5 vegan meals if I had to only eat 5 meals for the rest of my life. And she also asked, favorite easy vegan snacks, healthy and unhealthy. For healthy vegan snacks, I chose dates and peanut butter because that's my favorite and I eat it like all the time. And veggies and hummus because unhealthy snacks, coconut chips and popcorn, either caramel corn or like movie theater butter popcorn, because a lot of that is surprisingly vegan, just so you know. Jackie asked, when and why did you become vegan? And also Raina Bolt asked, when did you go vegan and why? And I'm not gonna go too much in depth on that because I'm planning on making a My Vegan Story video, and that'll talk like more of that too. But I went vegan when I was 14 and when I was in freshman year of high school, around like fall and winter time of 2011. And why did you become vegan? Right now I'm vegan because of ethical reasons, health reasons, environmental reasons, just general compassion. But when I first went vegan, it was like literally only ethical reasons and like not wanting to hurt animals. That was it. I've always like cared about animals, and when I was little I wanted to be a veterinarian, so like once I realized like that factory farms suck and that most of the meat that I was eating and the cheese that I was eating was coming from there, I just felt like I couldn't do it anymore and I needed to start making changes because I was like disgusted by that. Imada asked, describe your aesthetic in 30 words or more, like individual words or sentences. And fuck, that's gonna be hard. So let's see. Semi-minimalist, like with lots of white, but also with lots of pops of color. Lots of pops of bright colors like blues, purples, teals, and greens, and pops of tie-dye. Very 90s, very nice. Woo! I tried my best. Hopefully that makes sense. Aaron McDonald asked about starting a YouTube channel and the anxieties that come with it, and what advice that I would give to people who feel like that. And I'm going to make a separate video about this because this is a good topic, and so that'll be right here sometime soon. Eric asks, what's the best way to transition into veganism, vegetarianism, or how did you? I think that it's different for everyone. I made a video on this, but it's super long and no one probably wants to watch it. Some people are able to do the whole like vegan overnight and just like give everything up and go for it, but I think most people need a slower transition. What I did was I first went vegetarian, and I was just vegetarian for like a few weeks or something, and then I started to do like vegan at home, or when it was like really easy, but then I would eat when I would go out with friends, or when I would go to a restaurant, or when I went to like a family party or whatever, I would just be vegetarian. And then it got to a certain point when I was more like 95% vegan, where I wouldn't eat dairy or eggs when they were like obvious, So like basically I wouldn't order like a quesadilla, or I wouldn't order like a burrito with cheese in it. But like if I went to a restaurant and they had table bread, like I didn't bother asking if there was eggs in it or whatever. I would just eat it because like it was probably vegan. So then like I got more serious about it and like started questioning about everything. But yeah, I think taking it slow is best. That's what I would recommend to people. But at the same time, like do whatever feels right, and like make sure that whatever you're doing is like realistic and sustainable, because if you're too like hardcore too fast, then you are more likely to like give up. So, and lastly, Robin Cooper asked, what vegan YouTubers do you watch? And surprise, that's gonna be another video, and I'll share like some of my favorite videos by each of them. So I will be here as well, so please check that out if you would like. And that is all for today. So actually, okay, one more. I said if you wanted to ask me a question anonymously that you could go on my Tumblr, and only one person did that, and they asked me how old I was, and I'm 19. And if I don't look 19, it's because I have a round face, I have soft features, and I don't wear makeup. So yeah. Hopefully when I edit this, it's not gonna be ridiculously long. That was my first Q&A, and I hope that it was entertaining for you. Thank you for watching, and if you think I should do more Q&A videos, you can let me know. And if you think I should stop doing Q&A videos forever, you can also let me know. Please like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you like follow my Instagram so you can get some foodspo and ideas there. Yeah, thanks for watching, and see you later. Goodbye.